Hey, what's up? It's Comic95. Thank you so much for watching this video, or clicking on it, I should say. As the title says, in this video, I kind of wanted to share with you guys my fears of going to Japan. I am constantly asked all the time, why did I choose to go here? And yeah, in fact, I think that's the most obvious question. Like, oh, like, you're a black girl. Why do you want to go to Japan? Of all the places you can go. My family hasn't really been supportive of my idea of going here, but that's okay. I'm doing me. Um, let's get started. So, the very first point that I want to make as to one of my fears is I guess I'm afraid of not being able to learn Japanese. I have done a lot of research on Japan as a country, but I haven't really been able to spend a lot of time learning the language. I've been too busy with work, school, and doing other things to actually take Japanese lessons, which is something that I really wanted to do. But it doesn't seem like that's going to, well, now obviously it can't happen anytime soon. So I will be completely relying on what I can afford to do while I'm there. From as far as anything outside of school goes, I will be taking Japanese lessons at my university, but I may or may not attend a language school. I would really like to do that, and I also hope to make some Japanese friends that can hopefully help me learn Japanese as well. So that's my biggest fear, not being able to learn the language. I guess I'm kind of afraid that it won't stick with me either. Um, I've taken Spanish for a while. I've been taking Spanish since I was 8 years old, and I still do not know a whole lot. I know enough to get by and get around, but I wouldn't even consider myself to be on an intermediate level. That's the highest I would rate my Spanish, but that's another story. Um, what else was I gonna say? So moving on. Number two, the second thing that I fear about going to Japan is, and this one's really shallow, but I guess appearance-wise. I know that I'm not the standard ideal of what's attractive there, and part of me really doesn't care anyway. I'm there for the country, not to get a boyfriend, not to be liked, whatever. Um, I'm really interested in Japan as a country. I like Asia in general, and I really plan on traveling all over Asia, not just ending my journey in Japan. Although I haven't fully decided where I want to live, I just know that it won't be here where I'm currently at. Um, but yeah, that's a little bit scary in a sense. Part of me is kind of used to and adapted to what I have ahead of me because obviously I'm a minority, I am African, and I am used to not being the ideal standard of what's considered as beautiful. Um, I know that a lot of people don't like black women in general, and that's okay. But it's kind of different when you go to not only a country where you're not viewed that way, but on top of that, um, people aren't used to seeing you. So I have to get more so used to like the looks and stares that I will be getting. And I've heard people say stuff like about people taking pictures of them. That's probably another one of my nightmares. And I could have made that a separate one, but to me, this is all going to go into the same thing. Um, and to add on to that, I actually live in an almost all white neighborhood. And even here, I get looks all the time, and people ask me, "Oh, like, where are you from?" Or when did you move here? It's like I've been here for a while. So anyway, I don't really mind, but it's I guess somewhat of a bit of a little fear of mine. I guess just being different. Number three for me, another fear that I have, which goes into the fat American side of me. I am kind of afraid of not being able to find anything I like to eat. I have gone to a Japanese restaurant here in America, but I know that the food that we have here, just like Chinese food places, isn't more than likely, it's not authentic Japanese food. And I know that the things that I like to eat are not necessarily traditional things that you would have at a regular meal. For example, sushi. So I do like sushi, but once again, I mean, that's not a normal meal for most people. The next thing that I have that's kind of a fear is very specific, I guess, to my personal situation. I'm kind of afraid that something's going to go wrong with my student loan. I took out a loan and it's not expected to be dispersed until mid January. And I'm afraid that something's going to go wrong and I won't be able to have access to that money, which will really mess things up for me because I need that to pay for my classes and housing and everything else. So that's something else that is kind of a fear of mine. And I guess I don't know if I was on three, four, whatever. We're done with numbers. The next fear that I have is definitely the people that I'll meet. When I first get there, I plan to actually be staying with roommates. And I've obviously never met these people, so I'm kind of afraid that we won't get along and that, it'll be hard to go to sleep at night. They'll be noisy, stinky, and I have a lot of little pet peeves that I'm going to have to get over, I guess. I really hate people that put their feet on everything. It's just so disgusting to me. Like people that put their feet up on their couch. Like if it's a footstool, whatever, not going to bother you. It's what it's made for. But I'm like the actual couch, or the people that put their feet in their couch pillows. Like it's just gross. I know that for the most part I wouldn't be hanging out in the living room area anyway. I'd probably just stay in my room. But it's just a little fear that I have. I prefer, obviously, that I would get along with my roommates, but I don't know. It all depends on how they act, I guess. So I guess that's kind of it for the most part. As far as things go that I can really think of that are bothersome to me, of course, ultimately none of them are really serious, but those are just my own things that I have in my head that are bothering me. That I'm like, oh my god, I'm a little bit scared about that. Oh, I forgot. Of course, getting lost. Since I don't speak or read in Japanese, I'm going to have to learn a lot and basically be like Ariel from The Little Mermaid for quite some time. So yeah. I also want to balance this out a little bit. So I wanted to add some things that I'm really excited about that I know that I will like, or hopefully that I will, once I get here. So, let's start. Number one, the main thing that I think I would really like about being here is the fact that I won't feel out of place. And what I'm specifically referring to is the fact that most Japanese people don't have cars, and I don't have one. I actually never got my driver's license. I feel so like strange here. I live in America, and here, um, it's like taboo. Like people think you're stupid for not having a license. Like, how do you get around? Like, why don't you have a license? It's always a really big conversation starter. Like people are always really interested in that. Um, I like that I will still, even without a car, be able to essentially get around everywhere. You can do that here in Chicago, and a lot of people do take public transportation, but I live in an area where there's not a lot of public transportation except for a really expensive train, the Metro, but I still take it anyway, and I normally can arrange a ride with a friend or my mom or whoever. So I like that in that sense. I will feel like an adult still and normal once I'm there because it's not taboo to not have a car. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Another thing that I will also enjoy about Japan, or so I think, is, I guess, the land. I really like nature. I love fountains and water and mountains and flowers. And from what I've seen, Japan has an abundance of all of those things. I think that will probably be the thing that I enjoy the most while I'm there. I am also oddly interested in crowded areas. I like the shops they have, the street vendors, food vendors, etc. It makes me feel like I'm playing Sleeping Dogs or something. And speaking of which, I plan to go to Hong Kong as well as to visit my friend while I'm there. So I hope that we can hang out. My best friend lives in China, so that'll be something fun that I'm interested in doing as well further down the line. Um, let's see. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it as far as that goes. Another little tidbit that I wanted to add too is that I'm really interested in activities that Japan has to offer. I really hope that I can get involved. in some clubs. I would like to do things like art club or dance, and I think that would be really fun. And that's something that I probably wouldn't join here in America, but I would love to do once I'm there. So I have a lot of like little plans that I've written down in my phone and well typed in my phone and wrote down in my little journal that I plan to do and activities that I want to be a part of while I'm here. So those are some more that I guess I can add to the upside. In a nutshell, I'm not really nervous about Japan itself. I'm really nervous about I guess getting lost and being somewhere where I don't speak their language and having to learn it. So that's going to be a really interesting aspect for me, something new that I've never done before. I've never been to a foreign country. I've never left the United States. I have only traveled by myself once, and that was to New York. So yeah, that'll be something interesting for me to have to get used to. So I guess I'm done. Thank you so much for watching my video, and wish me good luck in Japan.